Honorable Governors, distinguished Chairman Mr. Adesina, African Development Bank board members and staff, dear delegates and annual meetings participants. As Minister of Finance of Angola and Governor of the African Development Bank, I'm honored to address this year's annual meetings message and to discuss the critical topic of mobilizing private sector financing for climate and green growth in Africa. Angola is totally committed to the global effort to combat climate change, and we recognize the important role that the private sector must play in this effort. Particularly in Angola, we are highly exposed to natural disaster and climate change that threaten vital ecosystems, with droughts and floods being the most serious challenge. In our country, droughts affect over 1 million people, and floods affect approximately 100,000 people every year. In this manner, the government of Angola has recently approved the Sustainable Finance Framework, which establishes the guidelines for the action of the Angolan state in the international debt market, with emphasis on financing mobilization through sustainable instruments like ESG, while also ensuring that the debt strategy is aligned with the country's environmental and social policies defined in the National Strategy for Climate Change 2022-2030. This framework will allow the emission of green and blue bonds that will be directly linked with specific projects in areas such as education, health, renewable energies, water, and sanitation. Right now, to inaugurate the first emission under our ESG framework, we are working with African Development Bank. This is the way African Development Bank support all of us as client countries. We are thankful for having our bank and for the very crucial role the bank has been playing. Excellencies, private sector investment in green growth can help to unlock the potential of renewable energy, improve energy efficiency, and promote sustainable agriculture, water supply, among other affairs. However, mobilizing private sector financing for green growth in Africa is not without its challenges. We face many obstacles, including limited access to finance, a lack of policy incentives, and not enough regulatory frameworks. Financial resources are crucial for the successful execution of any climate resilience or green growth strategy, and public funds are not enough. Estimates of the bank indicates that Africa will require approximately $3 trillion, while research from the Global Center on Adaptation estimates that the impacts of climate change could cost Africa 2 to 4% of its GDP by 2040. Hence, a strong strategy to attract private sector is therefore needed. Despite those challenges, we are making progress because that is also the agenda of the African Development Bank. The African Development Bank launched several initiatives to promote green growth and to support private sector investment in this area, including the Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa and the Climate Change Fund. And then there is that flagship project, which is the Desert to Power initiatives, aimed at scaling up investment in renewable energy and transforming the Sahel region into a green energy powerhouse. But there is more work to be done. We need to create, without hesitation, an enabling environment for private sector investment in green growth. This includes building capacity, creating incentives, develop innovative financing instruments, and promoting policy reforms that support green growth and attract private investment on the necessary scale. We also need to ensure that private sector investments are socially responsible and environmentally sustainable. This means adopting environmental and social safeguards, as well as ensuring that investments are aligned with national development priorities of each country. Finally, we need to collaborate across borders and sectors to achieve our shared goals. No single country or organization can do this alone. We must work together to achieve a sustainable future for all. It is good to know that all this is being addressed by the African Development Bank in cooperation with all its donors. We, as governors, strongly welcome the very important role of the African Development Bank climate change commitment in spearheading efforts to help Africa tackle climate change. Please count on all of us, governors, to support you in taking the leadership role in accelerating and scaling climate action across our continent. In closing, I would like to reiterate Angola's commitment to the agenda of this meeting and to mobilizing private sector financing for climate and green growth in Africa. We are confident that with the support of all our partners, we can create a sustainable and prosperous future for all Africans. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.